Hi, I'm Alexis Williams, Chief Brand Officer for North America at Stagwell, and welcome to the Stagwell Content Studio here on the convention floor at CES in Las Vegas. It's the first CES back and in person fully since COVID, and the floor is buzzing. It is my pleasure to be here with Amanda Rubin, SVP of Marketing and Sales at Enthusiast Gaming. Thank you so much, Amanda, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first and foremost, what brings you to CES?
I mean, working in advertising my whole career, we're always here at CES, but I think I come with a new light being in the gaming industry, specifically how much gaming is heating up now. I come here to meet with brands and partners, but also to see all of the new activations that are happening on the floor in the gaming space.
Yeah, I mean, the floor is, people can see from the shots, but it is so filled with people who are just so clearly, no pun intended, enthusiastic to see what the technology is and what's sort of been developing in the last 2 years. So it's very cool to see. For those of us not here, or the people who aren't in the room with us, tell us a little bit about Enthusiast Gaming. Just give us a background on what it is and then what you do.
Yeah, so when I joined Enthusiast Gaming in 2019, we were in the middle of merging a few different parts of a business into what we want to, or what we actually consider as the largest vertically integrated gaming publisher. So we basically combined 4 major pillars: events, talent, which encompasses esports and an esports org, content, and media. And so with those 4 pillars combined, we have massive scale. We have a huge network of 500 plus YouTube channels, entertainment websites and destinations, and even TikTok. Packaging from a scale media standpoint, we have tons of different content brands. We also have an in-house esports org, as mentioned, Luminosity. We just launched a talent agency, Storied, which is big with the creator economy. And we also just started this past year a major partnership with the NFL, Tuesday Night Gaming, where we're leaning into NFL players and content creators, creating content around it and seeding it out across an entire mass market audience.
That's awesome. I mean, gaming is such a growth engine across entertainment, content, sort of the whole universe, and then really growing with hard to reach sort of demographics. So talk to me a little bit. Mobile gaming is huge, but tell me a little bit about the gaming world as you see it, looking to 2023. What are some of the big trends you think will play out?
Yeah, I mean, really good segue into kind of my thoughts on gaming in general, because so I've been in gaming for 9 years. I was at Electronic Arts before Enthusiast Gaming. And back in the day, it was trying to convince people that gaming was this passion point that they needed to have a bucket for and spend it.
Yeah.
And I would consider that a vertical, right? These days, I think gaming is a horizontal. It's an entertainment platform similar to that of television or print. So, it's not anymore this elusive boy in his parents' basement, but anybody plays a game, whether they're playing Wordle or they're playing a hardcore game like Call of Duty. And so I think looking at gaming first and foremost is just a mass market platform of reaching people who are engaged and paying attention is very important. And then how are we doing that in a really unique way? I think some of the things leading the charge are obviously the buzzword is metaverse. Everyone's talking about the metaverse and Web3, how to get in it and how to do it the right way. But I think behind that is really the creator economy. In the world of gaming, it's the creators that are leading the way. If you want to be in the metaverse, you have to be in the metaverse through a creator, through a map build, through that live stream. And so I would say it's really paying attention to these influencers, especially in the economy we're entering this year. You might not see these big budgets and content, but you're going to see them in these micro influencers that have dedicated audiences.
Yeah, that's super interesting. And tell me, when you think about gaming I like that as a horizontal. What are some of the greatest opportunities for growth? You talked about creator economy, you talked about sort of content creation, but what do you think is going to really peak and with who? Because that's
right.
To your point, I still think there's a little bit of misunderstanding about who is a gamer and what makes a gamer.
Right. So it's interesting. I mean, there's so many in the entertainment industry. You see so many different movie studios now creating television shows, Netflix series around games and game content. They're bringing these characters to life. And so I think we're kind of watching as everybody in entertainment is trying to get a piece of the pie of gaming.
Yeah.
To me, the growth isn't really coming from one specific area as much as it's getting people to start to recognize that there's this disproportionate spend in traditional forms of advertising that aren't being spent on gaming with this massive audience playing. And so I think it's just a shift of the pendulum, quite honestly, and where the dollars are going.
Yeah.
And everybody trying to play a role. You see Facebook changing their name to Meta.
Yeah.
Netflix creating a gaming platform. I mean, it's just everybody's throwing their hat in the ring.
Yeah.
And it's who's going to survive, who's got the right pieces to keep people engaged. I think scale, though, is going to win out. So, still those social partners are primed for success if they do it properly.
Right.
But I will say, if authenticity has always been an important word in advertising, it is 12 times more important in gaming.
Explain that a little more. Like, why does authenticity matter so much more to the gamers?
I mean, because gamers can snuff out the BS, you know what I mean? Like gamers aren't getting sold on any of that crap.
Skeptic
for lack
consumers.
Of a better word.
Yeah,
and so I mean, they love when a brand is with them, when a brand is creating with them, creating opportunities for them to advance. So I mean, years ago when I was at EA, we were doing a lot of incentivized ads. And back then people were, you'd meet a brand that either loved reward-based ads or they said, we don't do reward-based ads, those are terrible. But people like reward-based ads. They add value to their gameplay.
Right.
People like tournaments because they can win prize pools.
Right.
We have a lot of partners that are entering into partnerships where they want to crown the next gamer or crown the next intern working at our company. We just did something with the Royal Bank of Canada there.
That's fun.
So really just interesting ways of getting people involved, but you've got to do it where they feel like you're there with them and you're a fan alongside them, not somebody speaking to them.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because you are looking at that intersectionality of traditional and new content. So doing things with the NFL to bring those people in an organic way, but then also pushing out really new, innovative things that are enticing people in unique and different ways too. So best of both worlds.
Exactly.
Well, I always like to think about technology as a tool for impact. And I think gaming is very much in that vein. You know, it's creating and shaping content, it's building culture as a result. And I think anyone in our industry really does feel that responsibility that what we do shapes perceptions people have of themselves, people like them, the world around them. And it's on us to make it more inclusive and sort of more diverse. So talk to me a little bit about how are you bringing gaming along on this journey of inclusivity and on this journey of impact?
So it's interesting. When I joined EA 9 years ago, I wouldn't have considered myself a gamer. I would have been one of those people that said, I'm not a gamer. I'm joining this company. It seems cool. I only played The Sims for 20 hours a week, every week while I was growing up, but I'm not a gamer. You know? It took a while to lose that and to recognize that I am a gamer. I love playing Monopoly with my family. I like playing solitaire. And so I think it's this recognition with especially our industry that it's okay to say you're a gamer. I think Gen Z specifically, they like being gamers, right? Like it's part of their core culture. But for my generation, it's a harder thing to come to terms with. So I actually created an event in tandem with my team last year that we're blowing out this coming year called Raise Your Game, targeted at females and non-binary in the advertising and media space, mostly our client and brand partners, to come together and have an opportunity to network, to raise their actual professional game, but also to do it with a backdrop of gaming. So we did it at OS in NYC, which is a big gaming bar. We created gaming dens to make everyone feel comfortable to hang out and just get to network. I found in general, on the sales side, there's a lot of networking opportunities, but there aren't necessarily for agency across agency to meet with each other. And so we wanted to bring these young women together and give them a fun place to do it and feel like they were in their den. And some girls played Cards Against Humanity, and that was fine, and we said that's a game. And others played Fortnite for the first time, and some went back to Mario Kart, their tried and true. Everyone had a lot of fun. It kind of set the ground rules, and now we're going to be rolling it out again this year in New York the day after the Playfronts.
That's awesome.
And we're also going to be doing it in Toronto, which is where our headquarters are, in tandem with our Pocket Gamer mobile event in June. We're trying to create some legs around it and eventually would Raise Your Game to have a little bit more robustness to it, but one mission at a time,
One step at a time. Well, and that's what it takes. It takes one intentional effort to build to another and build movement. So that's awesome. Well,
exactly.
Amanda, thank you so much for joining us here today at CES. And thank you to everyone for tuning in. We really appreciate your time and we look forward to seeing you again really soon. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.